Let's do some movement, and we will start off with raising the bubbling spring. It's a really good one, again, just to get the calves activated, get some energy through the legs. Also, it's a nice balance. So take your feet just slightly wider than hip width apart. Find your balance, so just shift your centre of gravity forwards and backwards so you can just find out how you are balanced. And be aware if you've got any ankle issues or any Achilles issues, calf issues, just take this easy. If it's too challenging, then just continue with this slight rock forwards and backwards. If it works for you, you just rock forwards slightly, come up onto the ball of the foot, onto the bubbling spring, and then slowly lower back down. Then that weight shifts backwards a little bit, and then shift forwards, raise the bubbling spring, lower back down, and get a little bit of a momentum going. If you have too much momentum, you'll fall backwards. If you have too much momentum going forwards, you'll fall forwards. So just find that window of balance. Gillian's cat's in now, I can see on Zoom there. We've got all the cats joining us today. There's 2 cats on Zoom. Good. And then just find your own rhythm. And notice the foot position as well. Notice what happens in the ankle, the lower legs, the calves. Keep the shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed. Do a couple more. Good, and then take a rest. And now just shake it out, so just tapping the heels into the ground. So just letting the heels actually just tap into the ground, so you're creating that vibration through the lower legs, through the bones, through the muscles, through the whole body, letting the shoulders go and relax, let the head relax. You can bring your wrists into it as well. We'll do a couple of nice cleansing breaths. So a nice conscious breath in through the nose, and And as you let that breath out, just let everything soften and relax. Let's do another one. Breath in. Perhaps one more breath in. And then slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. And just come to standing. And just letting your body come back to balance, letting the breath settle. And feel the blood flow, the energy flowing through the body, the tingling sensations. And then we're going to step out about a shoulder and a half width apart. Hinge the hips back and just rest lightly on the thighs there. I'm not putting a lot of weight through the thighs and keeping the spine long. And I'm going to mirror you, keeping the hips still. So no movement in the hips, just keeping the hips facing forwards. I'm just going to rotate the spine. So work from the lower back, up the mid back, upper back, and just have a little glance behind you, and then come back to center. Not pushing or forcing anything. Start with that visualization in the lower back. So we're now going to the right, and then your mid back, upper back, and have a little look behind you. Come back to center. Watch that there's no movement in the knees either, or as I say, the hips. And you can use this opposite arm, so you can use that right arm there just to help you, a little bit more pressure through there. That can help you have a look. That can help with that rotation. And then just keep going side to side. But you're going from the lower back, so you start in the lower back, no movement in the hips, no movement in the hips. So we're just getting that spine rotation. And just keep going side to side. Just breathing comfortably, just breathing how you feel comfortable. Keeping the spine long. Really nice and solid through the ground. No movement in the hips. I can see a few hips moving on Zoom. So keep the hips stable. Keep the hips still. So we just get in rotation in the back, all the way through the spine. Let's do one more each side. And then come back to center, through the heels and calm up to standing. And just walk your feet back into a comfortable position. Remember, when we're doing any of the stretching, think why we're doing it. We're doing it to get some movement and mobility and oiling and energizing the spine. And also don't overdo it. We tend to get that thing with exercise, and we need to be pushing ourselves all of the time. Challenge yourself and feel that movement, but really be in control, stay safe, and just get that nice ease of movement. All of the stuff that we're doing, we're not necessarily doing any Qigong flows as we're doing these things, but think of it as a rhythmical flowing movement. Let's do some picking cherries. So now let's get the rib cage opened up and the spine extended. So we're just reaching up and reaching up. And again, the hips are staying stable. So I'm not dropping the hips side to side. Hips are staying stable. A little bit of softness in the knees. So you can really feel that length through the rib cage here. Also length in the lower back. All up the spine, of the side of the spine. Just be aware on this one that you're not leaning back, because if you start to lean back, then you put the compress here on the lower back. So keep reaching and keep tall. And just going from side to side. So here we're just lengthening the spine. We're just getting some movement in these ribs, movement in the ribs as they're connected to the spine on the back of the body, movement here in the sternum. And just breathing easy. Good. Again, not overreaching. If we push too far or reach too far, then our body will just tighten up to protect. So you want to be safe and be comfortable so you can actually then reach that optimal stretch. Couple more. Nice, and then bring your arms back down to the side. And then we'll do some knocking on the door of life. Feet shoulder width apart, softness in the knees, feet connected to the ground, moving from the hips and the waist and the hips and the center, but using the ground to create that movement. So it's almost as if someone's got a little bit of resistance. Imagine someone's just holding you gently from the front of the hips, so you can't just throw the hips forwards. So you've just got someone holding you gently from the front of the hips. So there's that little bit of resistance, because again, that will bring more emphasis or more awareness of the rotation through the spine. Because again, that's one of the reasons why we're doing this movement, is to actually energize the spine, activate the spine, get all the spinal fluids moving, getting the vertebrae moving, getting the discs oiled. And you're tapping on the back of your lower back and your belly. So just activating those points, bringing energy to them, bringing blood flow to them. Breathing just easy in and out through the nose. If you're in class on Tuesday, you remember the stepping that we did with this one. So you step or you touch behind with the foot that you're rotating to. So if I just slow it down and mirror you, if you're rotating to the left, that's your right, sorry. If you're rotating to your right, you step back and then you step back. The weight is on that front foot all of the time, otherwise you'll be all over the place. You won't have time to transfer the weight. So the weight is always on the front foot, you're just tapping that back foot behind. It's a nice one to see who tightens up on the upper body, who loses the rhythm. Couple more. And then just slow it down into water waves. And take a moment. Just balance. We'll do a bit of flying. So let's just get the arm movement going first. Shoulders relaxed, elbows soft. Soft movement. It's almost like there's a little bit of resistance with the air as the arms flow up. Really feel the arms heavy. Get the breath going with it, breathing in. Breathing out. Feel the spine extend, ribcage expand as you get more breath into the lungs, more air into the lungs, and then soften as the air. You have less air in the lungs as you breathe out. And then just when you're ready, balance on one side. Keep the breath easy. So you shift the weight, you know you're stable on that one side, and then you're free to lift that opposite side. Stable first, soft landing. Shift the weight, balance. Keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the arms relaxed, keep the flowing movement. It's very easy just to step down. Anybody can do that. It's more challenging to slowly place the foot, softly place the foot. Shift the weight, balance, straighten the leg without locking. Soften the leg, soften, place the foot. Breathe in. Breathe out. Nice and light, face relaxed. Let's do one more on each side. And then take a rest. Let's do some work on the feet. So we'll do our walking on the heels, so just walking up and down on the heels. Again, if you've got any ankle issues, if anything hurts, if you get any pain when you're doing this, then stop. Really flex the foot, so point the toes towards the shins. Spread the toes as well. You can move around, you can go side to side, forwards and backwards. See if you can keep the rest of the body, or the arms and the shoulders relaxed. The spine obviously stays strong. Strong back spine, soft front of the body. Keep that balance. And then take a rest, bit of a shake out. Oh, had a nice ankle click then, shaking that one out. Shake out. And then we'll go when you are ready on the bubbling springs. So it says we were doing this first thing, raising the bubbling springs, and then just walking. Soften, feel that give, feel that absorption as you land. So it's not everything locked out, but just feel that absorption through the foot, through the calf, through the sole of the foot, spreading the toes. One side may feel different to the other, maybe not. Side to side. Nice and tall, relaxed shoulders. Remembering that particularly when we're running, as we are taking off the ground, that is the position we take off the ground. And we're taking off the ground on that one leg. Now we're not pushing, we're not overusing the lower legs, because we get in the landing and we get in the force of the road, the force of the absorption of that force of the road that helps us move forward. But you are in that position as you step forwards. So this is really good to help strengthen and mobilize and free up any tightness that's maybe in the foot or in the calf there, and then shake out. And then we'll go on the side of the foot if it's comfortable. And remembering, again, when we're walking, when we're running, the first point of contact, obviously you're not landing like that, but you are landing outside of the foot and rolling a split second. So don't think of I'm landing on the outside of the foot, but this is what happens. So this position is a real, or this stretch or exercise is really good just to help strengthen this line, side line down the legs. Again, go side to side. Keep tall, relax the shoulders. You soon notice, if you do this every day for a few days, you soon notice how it frees up and how easier it gets when you can walk around. I can walk around like this for a long time, and then give the ankle a little bit of a shake again. Shake out. And then when you're ready, on the inside. So again, this is a real exaggeration of after you've landed and before you come over onto the bubbling spring, that internal rotation there of the femur and that inside of the foot there. Obviously we don't want the knee to drop in too much, but again, this is just challenging these positions, strengthening these structures. We can go side to side. You might notice this really engages, you can feel it in your glutes as well, in your bum muscles, without over tightening them. So you don't have to physically tighten them, but you can feel that connection up into the hips. And then take a moment, shake out, give them a good shake. Good shake. And then when you're ready, let's come to shoulder width. Do some nice, easy tigers. Go to your own comfortable depth to start off with, just breathing easy. Remember, the breath is in control of the movement. You're in control of the movement. And have that sense of just lowering your center of gravity. So you're just dropping your hips down, lowering the center of gravity. And then standing tall, full tall, lengthen the leg. And we'll just explore a little bit more of what we were playing around with last week in terms of center of mass or balance. So this time, as you come up, just shift the weight a little bit more into the heels. So it's almost like you're going back a little bit and then you're pushing up through the heels. So it's very subtle. Obviously don't want anybody to fall back, but just weight a little bit more through the heels, pushing up through the heels. You've still got the bubbling spring in contact with the ground, so we certainly don't rock onto the heels. Don't want anybody falling over. then take a rest there. So the idea with that is if you imagine that you're going to jump forwards, but you needed to really stop at a certain point, the weight would be there, right, back through the heels. So the weight would be shifted back slightly, but not too far back that you'd fall back. So just have that in mind. Just do a few more and have it, it's almost like a decelerating, as if, don't jump forward, but just have that sense of decelerating as you're coming up out of that squat. So down. So just imagine that you jump forward and you'd landed and you need to stabilize, not let yourself fall forwards. Really subtle awareness of where your center of gravity is. Couple more. And then take a rest. And then the next one is that gentle rock forward. So there's that little bit more emphasis on the bubbling spring as you're coming out of the squat. So I've just an example of that would be, it's difficult for me to show you because I don't want to go through the door, but it's as if you were going to jump forwards and keep going. It's that idea. So it's shifting your center of gravity forwards. It's that take a step. It's what you would do when you are walking, when you're running, is you want that center of gravity coming over the support leg. So it's just that idea as you're doing the squat, obviously not moving forward. So just have a little play with that. So it's just shifting center of gravity forwards. A little bit more emphasis through the ball of the foot. Heel still stays on the ground. If you go too far, if you do too much, you lose control. And feel the difference in what activates through up the legs. Couple more. And then take a rest. So just have that in mind today, if you're going out on a run or if you're walking, is that as you step, that weight shifts forwards to help you move forwards. If you're actually going to step and, right, just going to stand here and push something, that weight would be back slightly for you to embrace that, the strength of that push. But if you're stepping, weight shifts forwards, weight shifts forwards. Let's finish off with pulling down the heavens. We'll do the one we did on, oh gosh, quick, because 1 minute. Breath in, we'll do 6 directions. Breath out, breath in, breath out. That went quick, I didn't realise what time it was. And breath in, breath out as you rotate the spine. Breath in, Breath out. Quite a rushed pulling down the heavens in 6 directions. Balance. Just a few moments just to give yourself that time to allow the body to find its natural balance, relaxing the lower legs. Keeping that nice strong back of the spine with the head balanced on top, and then that soft, relaxed shoulders, relaxed face, soft ribs, soft front of the spine, front of the body, soft belly. Light, slow, deep breathing. And then when you're ready, just taking a conscious breath in, opening your eyes, stepping out, giving yourself a little bit of a brush down. Good, excellent. A few things to go away and play with and think about then. Thank you for joining me, always appreciate it. It's always good to see you on a Thursday morning and a Tuesday morning. So have a good rest of your day. Whatever you're doing, whether you're going swimming, going running, going walking, going shopping, going working, have a great weekend too, and I will see you hopefully on Tuesday. Take care. Bye.
Great. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.